Hi loves, welcome to a new moon reading for the new moon in Pisces. And I really love my Piscean friends. I absolutely think you're magical. I mean, Cancer and Fish, we get along. Meditate and contemplate. So this is really a good time to maybe focus more on your meditation practice. And really our whole day is a meditation. And we should be able to harness the power of meditating without closing our eyes, without actually stopping, and to be in that space of complete neutral energy. The monks say that neutral energy dissolves reality. And if we're in a situation that we don't like, that's promoting a lot of anger, sadness, fear in us, meditation can help us to shift our state of being, our level of consciousness, into a more neutral space where the answers can be provided to us. So what is the current energy for this cycle? Justice. I love this here. Definitely Libra energy being brought in, but it's a balancing. I want to say that it's a balancing of forces. So things coming back into harmony, things coming back into balance for you. If you've been up and down, or the pendulum swings that we're all subject to, things will come back into balance. And unconditional love is the most balanced force in the universe. And in reality transurfing, there's these concepts of pendulums. So you might be riding the wave of success and fortune, and then all of a sudden you're blindsided and kind of thrown off. And that's happened to me as well too. And it's learning through, meditation to be able to not get caught up in that pendulum swing and return ourselves to neutrality and equanimity and wholeness inside of us. This can also be reciprocity in relationships. Being able to bring the energetics and relationships back into balance as well. Maybe there's been more give and take, but things coming into this equal measure. And I love this, the truth, the sword, and the upright position. So clarity and understanding, and using our words to provide clarity rather than to cut or to harm another, but just being in that place of knowing in our truth. In my spiritual study group of Source, shout out Kim, we talked about the other day that there's, when somebody's lying to us, the words don't ring true. So maybe they're saying something, but the frequency behind it doesn't ring true. And there's also a form of lying when we withhold our truth from another. And in both situations, usually lying stems from a fear of losing. So I tend to be on the other side of withholding my truth for fear of loss of the relationship, loss of the connection, but eventually I kind of lose myself. So working on that space of, expressing our truth, but from a place of equanimity, calmness, wholeness, understanding, and essentially unconditional love. Yes. I mean, I do this well sometimes. 95% calm, and then when I get pushed past my limit, 5%, a little bit of I'll cut you bitch mode. Anyway, those are my own shadows. All right, limiting beliefs to release. Actually, this is really interesting. 5 of Pentacles. This is shut out. Usually this is the blind leading the cripple leading the blind, and the cripple supporting the blind. And so this is lack energy. This is lack mentality. So the limiting belief right now is to release your focus on lack, or what things aren't happening, and to move towards the things that are happening, and essentially gratitude in your life. And as we focus on what is happening, the other areas of our life, maybe only in one area of our life things are moving for us and the other areas aren't. But as we continue to focus on that, that will create the momentum that we need to shift out of that lack energy. So really looking gratitude is what is happening for you, as opposed to what's not happening for you. And it's okay. our brains, our ego is wired to look for the fears, to look for the lack and scarcity, and that's how we survived. But it's not how we thrive. So shifting from lack mentality, limitation into that abundant mindset during this time period. And the final outcome for this portion of the spread. Eight of Cups. So interesting. This is, a lot of people think, oh, this is walking away from a situation. It might be walking away from our past self, from our forest self, going on a journey, a voyage. And she's walking up the mountain. And here I am in Utah with the mountains. And the mountain is usually a symbol for ascension and enlightenment. And it was very interesting. I was in Mexico, in Sayulita, and we went up this mountain, Monkey Mountain. And it was a random way that it happened, but when I reached the top of the mountain, I met somebody who I knew virtually, but not in person. So I was guided to be there. But I noticed as we went along the path at the bottom, it's like pretty flat, the trail's wide, and then right before you summit, right before you ascend, it's usually the hardest part. And you think to yourself, I can just take this vista down below. So really, as soon as you're closer to what it is you truly want, that's when the final ascent, the deepest, as you move up, you move in and down. So the deepest spheres come up when we are about to enter that ascent, that level up for ourselves. So really being in that space to have the courage to continue and to take one step at a time, knowing the journey and the destination are one and the same. If you're not happy on the journey, you're probably going to not be happy when you get to the destination. And just really enjoying the journey is something that I've learned to embrace, and knowing that the top of the mountain isn't necessarily the goal. It's that in desiring things and desiring situations and calling for certain things, we're not desiring that thing per se. We're desiring a frequency, a state of consciousness. And I've been asking myself, what is this thing that I want gonna give me? Well, some of it I feel like it will give me joy, a sense of limitlessness, stability, comfort. So how can I create those feelings inside of me even without it? Because that thing inherently doesn't inject joy, limitlessness, stability, or comfort inside of me. I create it first, and then it happens. So moving up to that mountain, the mountain is you, overcoming yourself, an ability to just trust in your step and move one at a time. All right, Hidden Truth Oracle. I really like this deck. So if there's a person in your life, a situation, something you're moving through. And tarot should be a way to reflect on your alignment. It's not future telling or fortune predicting. It's just simply a snapshot of where you are energetically and in terms of your alignment and how to shift it. And you want to be mindful of the consciousness of the reader itself, because they're the channel. Do you want it coming in through a clear conduit, or do you want it coming in through a muddled conduit? Is it moving you towards fear? Is it moving you towards love? Oh, I love you. That's simple enough. So if there's somebody you have on your mind today, know that they love you. Oftentimes we feel like we love another person, but maybe they don't love us. So just holding in that knowing and perception that they do love you. I love you. Simple as that. And what is love, really? I feel called to pull from the Whispers of Love too. Practice compassion. See things from a fresh perspective. Yes, seeing things from the eyes of love, and, calling things into our being that we want to have maybe a fresh awareness, a fresh perspective of. People show up based on our perceptions and our beliefs about how the world works, how they are. And if we can shift that, then we can see a situation from a completely new vantage point. And practicing compassion for ourselves, practicing compassion for other people as well, and just truly seeing it through the eyes of love. That's all I have today. I love you, I value, I accept you. We are limitless. As I speak it, I create it. So mote it be, and sealed with a kiss. Abracadabra.